to the LFG Pats Pod with your hosts, Joe and Mike. Let's go!
All right, welcome into the LFG Pats Pod, boys and girls. This is episode 39, and we got a massive win in Baltimore. I mean, I picked them to lose. I got to pick them to lose every week, Mike. Every time I pick them to lose, they win.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, but I don't know. I think you were just kind of doing that just to be deferential, but in the back of your heart, I think that you thought they were going to pull it out anyway. But I give you credit for that take, although I know deep down inside you thought that they were going to win. So you won both ways on that one, my friend.
You can't lose when you do that, I guess, right?
Absolutely.
Welcome, BriTalksPats back. It's been a few weeks. We've been trying to get you on. I know it's been busy, and it's the holiday season, so glad to have you on, bud.
I'm glad to be on, boys. It's always a pleasure talking ball with you guys, and I've missed you guys. I've definitely been keeping tabs on your show, but I'm glad to be here, man. I'm just glad to talk a little Patriots and just kind of like wind down the year with the dub. It's always good, so.
Definitely. Absolutely. So we got the Baltimore game itself. We got, let's see, the refs. We got Drake Maye's kind of up and down, but obviously he finished strong performance. We got some JV squads we're playing over the next 2 weeks, and then we got playoffs. So we got a jam-packed schedule tonight, boys. We got a lot to talk about. Before we get into that, we have to touch on the sponsors. So Horizon HVAC, guys, it's cold as shit right now. Get your HVAC system checked out. Mike Cesaroni, get these guys out there. It's $250. It includes them coming out, checking everything, topping off whatever they need to do, telling you about your system. You know, how long is this the life of it? What's it got left in it? And these guys, they told me, look, we're gonna do as much as we can to get as much as you can out of the system, because they're very expensive to replace, and the more you neglect them, the easier it is that they break down. So call Horizon HVAC as soon as you can. Mention LFG Pats Pod. You might get a discount. Who knows? It's Rhode Island, so, you know.
Indeed. You know a guy.
Yeah, so Rogue Island Kitchen and Bar. So I've been in talks with Ryan Bissett, the owner over there. We're going to have another event. So we're going to have another event come the playoff. Once we figure out the playoff schedule, we know what's going on there. We'll be there. We're going to bring Foxborough fellas. We're going to try to get Savage on board. We're going to get Pat's Planet Scotty B out there. Bry might be there. Who knows? So we're gonna do it big. We're going to be giving away stuff, giving away jerseys, talking to the
more the merrier, baby.
Yeah, talking to the Fanatics rep that I know. He's going to see if he can get us some swag to give out. But yeah, Rogue Island Kitchen and Bar. It's in the Arcade in Providence. Amazing food, amazing drinks. I mean, the servers, they have guys from Ireland, France. It's a very eclectic, awesome place to go. So check it out. But yeah, Bri, tell me about what you saw this Sunday night in primetime. What did you see?
I saw Drake Maye squash a narrative. I mean, the narrative was, he doesn't have a signature come from behind win. He doesn't have a game-winning drive. I heard it all week about he is unable to sustain a game-winning drive or a game-clinching drive. He's able to overcome double digits and get us a dub. And, I mean, I saw him do it all, basically. You know, despite the turnovers, I felt like he played one heck of a game, considering, you know, everybody was basically dropping like flies around him, and he just kept his composure. And I felt like he got better as the second half started going. He started taking shots, and just basically, it felt like almost every time he dropped back, he was getting hit, and he was just putting the ball where it needed to be. And I thought he just came up absolute nails. I thought it was probably one of his most impressive games, just because of the adversity that he'd faced. It was a primetime game. It was a game coming off a loss where they probably should not have lost that game against the Bills. You know, he answered the call. You know, he was just unbelievable. And, you know, even that touchdown, that pass that he did to Hunter Henry, where Henry initially dropped it, and then he was even that was wasn't really on him because he put the ball where it needed to be, and Henry dropped it. He couldn't he couldn't. His numbers could have been a little bit more, even more impressive, but I just thought he was just nails, man. He was just absolutely exactly what I expected Drake May to look like, based on all the performances he's put together this season, and I could not have been more impressed with his performance. Just he was just nails.
I agree. What do you think, Mike? What'd you see out there?
A lot of what Bryce saw. I mean, the one thing I will say is that he did look shaky in the first half. There was a couple of things. I mean, that interception and that fumble. But the point about it is, good players bounce back and don't let that affect them. And he obviously used that as motivation to go out and ball out for the rest of the game. And he was nuts. I couldn't believe my eyes when I didn't realize it at the time, but when I saw the box score at 380 yards, I was like, no way. All right, Dad. All right. That's what we've been looking for, But it was so methodical and within the confines of the actual offense that it didn't seem like he was tearing people up. But at the end of the day, he tore people up. So it's a classic example of the NFL, basically, because you can make so many mistakes in a game and still win because that team might make one more mistake than you, and they did. And that was the punch out, the Caleb Von Chase on punch out. They made one more mistake than we did, and we capitalized on it. So we should have never been in that position, because we'll talk about the worst non-DPI call ever known to mankind. We'll touch upon it, but it caused us to get into a 4th and 2. We had to get a 4th and 2 going to keep that drive alive, and it was a fantastic 4th and 2. But that dude, that safety, Darius Washington, or whatever his name is, he was like 2 inches from that ball. So we still got the short end of the stick. It worked out great, but why are we getting screwed over on that friggin' go route? And it's the most egregious thing. And the commentators are like, what? They were so confused. They didn't know what was going on.
Josh Allen gets that fucking call. Josh Allen would be bitching at the refs, pointing his finger, going like this. I mean, he'd be getting that.
Oh, so Drake's not demonstrative enough. He needs to be a dickhead. Is that what needs to happen in order for him to get that freaking call? It ultimately didn't matter. But the point is, there's a couple of takeaways on this. And Joe, like we talked about last week, I said he needs to learn how to close out games, and he needs to learn how to throw for 300 yards. He did both things. And if you can do those both things, then you can probably beat anybody. So overall, I'm very happy about the overall performance. There's a lot of things to clean up and work on. I'm concerned about the overall depth of this team. We might need to take it easy the next couple of weeks here, because these guys are playing out the string. They might want to play spoiler to us, but how much heart do the Jets and the Dolphins really have left at this point based on what happened with their team? They're going to play for pride, but guess what? Their skill levels are below our skill levels at this point in the season.
Yeah, Brady Cook, my buddy of mine, was for
the love of God, man,
playing against the Saints defense, and Brady Cook, he's like, oh my God. He's like, every time Brady Cook gets the ball, it's either a sack, a fumble, a pick. I mean, it was just like atrocious. So you got him, and then you got Quinn Ewers. So when it comes down to it, this is why I'm calling them JV squads, because, if we don't win these games handily with our backups, then we have problems. But going back to Drake May, I do want to talk a little more about Drake May. And this was something I observed, obviously, with Trevion going out with a concussion. Immediately I knew, I'm like, Drake May is going to throw the ball 40 times at this point, because Ramondre did step up. Ramondre, had a pretty good receiving game. He had some key, I think he had on the right side there. He had a little dump off that ended up going almost 30 yards.
Yeah.
And he had, I think, a few other small catches, and then obviously the massive run at the end there. to go ahead. But as soon as Trevion went down, I'm like, yep, that Drake May is going to throw for over 300 for sure, and he's going to throw at least 40 times. He ended up throwing it 44, I believe, times.
It
But
was like
man,
31 for 44. Yeah.
that fourth quarter, holy shit, he put. I mean, he just put on an
12
absolute
for
clinic.
14 and 2 touchdowns. Yeah.
Unbelievable. That ball to Kyle Williams
One
was
touchdown.
you could it couldn't be an inch better. That ball was, first of all, the way that he stacked the corner on that play. He brought him inside and then left that out. So he left that yard and a half on the outside there. He's going to be a special player. People keep talking about us going to get AJ Brown, Justin Jefferson. I don't know, man. I don't know if we need to go do anything crazy like that. I think we might have some players on the roster that can continue to grow with Maye. I mean, I feel like, and not for nothing, I think is when it comes to deep balls and when it comes to just PFF grades in general. We're a top like 10 team with our receivers that we have right now. So I'm kind of liking what we have, and I'm kind of liking building through the draft, maybe making another veteran signing that's a cheaper signing. If you could get AJ Brown for a swap with a third and a second or something, if you wanted to make a move like that, but I feel really good. I think Drake May he's a guy that levels up everybody around him. I mean, if it's me, I'm probably drafting a young tight end, to be honest. Hunter Henry is good. He's very serviceable. He makes plays, but what's he going to be next year? He's getting older. I do think we need to draft a tight end, but yeah, I'm just looking at what Drake May did last night. Granted, it's against the Ravens. The Ravens secondary is not elite. I don't care what anybody says about fucking Marlon Humphrey over there.
Marlon Humphrey, baby.
I mean, he makes plays here and there, but he gets burnt. For every play he makes, he gets burnt 2 or 3 times. So, tell me, Bri, what you saw from our boy Steph Diggs.
Well, I'm gonna touch on a couple of things, including,
Okay.
and I'm gonna work into the Steph Diggs thing.
All right.
Here's a couple of things I think I want to get a little, clarification from my point of view. These are my 2 cents, and I feel like, um, it's been something that's been blown out of proportion. Let's start with the 300-yard games. I had to hear about this 300-yard fucking club for about 2 straight weeks from Bills fans, etc. And to me, the goal of 300 yards isn't exactly something that I'm extremely impressed by, because let's put myself in perspective of, let's say Patrick Mahomes gets 350 or 380, but he throws a bubble screen and the bubble screen goes for 90 yards. Is that really impressive? I don't
Right.
think so. If you are throwing checkdowns like the one that Ramondre did, he got 35 yards out of basically a bubble screen. Is that really impressive? Is that really going to reflect like, oh, is that going to change my mind? I'm like, oh, Drake May had a great game because he did this one particular pass went for 35 yards when it was basically a check down. Is that really impressive? No. What impresses me about what Drake May is doing is he's putting balls like the ball to Kyle Williams. The ball to Kyle Williams, where you're going out there and you're throwing a goat route, and you have pressure. It's the fourth quarter, you're down double digits, need to have it, and you put a ball perfectly placed where only the receiver can make a catch. That's impressive. So if he would have gotten 220 yards, but that was one of the throws, right? That's impressive. What impresses me more about the player is how he gets the points, how he gets to his end objective more than just stuff, just fluff numbers on 300-yard games. So for me, Drake May didn't need to prove that he'd get 300-yard games. I know those were going to come. For me, it's more about, can you close out games? Like Mike said, can you close out a game when you gotta have to close the game, right? Can you go and make that key check where you need to make it? And can you go out and basically match one of the elite quarterbacks at this Josh Allen, and basically be like, no, you're not gonna get an opportunity to get one up on me. So that's for me more impressive than 300-yard club. Now I am happy that he got it just so he can shut up the narrative, but if Drake May doesn't throw for another 300-yard game here in the next 2 weeks, I'm not going to be disappointed. What I'm more worried about is his health, his efficiency, and his ability to continue to make clutch throws when we need him to make it. It's when he needs to make those critical plays. Um, and that's why I'm extremely happy with the way the season has gone. I feel like he's done just exactly that. Now, as far as your point goes to an elite receiver, if you look at some of the big primetime games and some of the, well, we've only had two. Steph Diggs has played a key role in both of the primetime games. He played a huge role down in Buffalo. He played a very critical role on Sunday night, where he was just somebody where Drake had someone to go with the football. With that said, I like Kyle Williams. I like his potential. I like that he's being mentored by a guy like Steph Diggs, but you can never have enough good wide receivers on a roster. Now, would I go out there and say pay money for a guy like AJ Brown? I would, but for the right price. I wouldn't exactly just go over the hams of the wall for. Now, if it's Justin Jefferson, yes, I'm a type of person who's like, if you can give me a guy like Drake May, and look what he's doing. And he's doing this with an over 30 Stephon Diggs. And he's doing this with Keishawn Boutte, he's not a great wide receiver, but he's a good wide receiver. And as you guys even said it, Hunter Henry is a serviceable tight end, but he's top 10 in fantasy, by the way. It was in yards and touchdowns and points for
Wild.
the season. And
Absolutely wild.
he's doing that. What you're looking at is you're looking at Drake elevating the
Yes.
players around him.
Yep.
Right. So if you can get him a premier player, I'm all for it. If you can continue to build through the draft, I'm all for it. I'm all for upgrading the roster always. It doesn't matter how that looks like, as long as it's not like super lopsided and it's not completely, just breaks down everything that we're working for.
You know who I do like though?
I like it.
And this is a sneaky one. Alec Pierce. Give
Yeah,
me Alec Pierce from the Colts. That guy is a deep ball monster.
absolutely.
And look at
Yeah.
Drake. You hook him up with Drake May, you get him for almost nothing. I think he's a free. Actually, I think pretty sure he's a free agent.
Yeah.
So to me,
Yeah, it's gonna be like, yeah.
a sneaky guy like that. You
Yeah,
pair him
because
with a
you
young
get like
kid.
2 catches a game, and then one of them's a touchdown, and that's basically about like
Alec Pierce is just one of those guys who just he's a guy that it's a deep ball threat. He makes big catches, yards after the
he did
catch kind of guy.
yesterday. I'll tell you
Deep
that
ball.
much.
Yeah,
with
he's a
old
good
man
receiver.
Rivers, with old man Rivers throwing him
He
the
won
ball.
me some money yesterday.
Yeah.
I had Alec Pierce, so
Yeah, just having a guy like Pierce maybe who opens up the offense and makes the offense more vertical, that already helps, so much more underneath for Drake to basically dissect. And we know that he's only going to get better as he gets into his third year, his fourth year. I mean, it's sky's the limit for what he's doing in his second year. Yeah, I'm all for always
Unprecedented.
upgrading the roster. You always need depth on the roster. You need talent. You can't turn up. You say like, oh well, I like the roster the way it is. I like the roster the way it's constructed as of now, but I feel like it's a lot of Drake elevating the players around him. So I'm never gonna say no. We shouldn't go get someone if we get the opportunity to get some, but it has to make sense, right? It has to make sense for the roster building. It has to make sense for the future, and it has to make sense to make sure that the cohesiveness of the roster and the wide receiver room is good. So
I got
Absolutely.
my
100% agree.
my brother-in-law and my niece. They give
It's a
us
family affair over here.
yeah,
It's a family affair.
that's good. That's good support system right there.
absolutely. Those are my
That's good.
people right there.
Yeah, those are your people. Yeah.
But yeah,
So,
I
Mike,
like what? Yes,
yeah.
go.
I was just gonna say, Mike, tell me, what did you see with the defense? Because this game, it was not a perfect game for the defense. What did you like? What did you not like about this defense?
They're playing a lot of zone. First of all, they played a lot of zone in the first half, and they switched to man in the second half. And kind of the narrative right now about Christian Gonzalez is that he's just not good at zone. Like he's just not good. He like lock him down with the number 1 and the number 2, or shadow somebody, or whatever you got to do. Go ahead and do that. But he seems to get lost when he's like trying to take that outside. Like if they're playing thirds or quarters and he's got that boundary, he'll let the guy go inside. He gives guys inside leverage a lot. He did that a couple of times in this game.
Zay Flowers. Yeah, I didn't like the matchup going into it with Zay Flowers. He's like the exact opposite of what you want.
No, you need Marcus Jones on Zay Flowers for crying out
I
loud.
agree.
Like that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, first of all. But they didn't really do all of that. So the secondary wasn't all that great, but I mean, they ended up knuckling in toward the end. But Christian Gonzalez, I mean, the jury's a little bit out on him, man. You know, he is a lockdown corner, but sometimes he gets tricked. And there was at least a couple of plays where a running play that was to the other side where you can just see him lollygagging, like straight up. Like, you know, you saw Caleb Von Chason make a play where he goes from the left side of the line all the way to the right, and then Flowers is running 15 yards downfield, and this kid goes and pursues and makes the play. That's hustle play. When you saw some of the runs that Gonzalez was supposedly defending, he was jogging and didn't want to get into the play.
I was wondering the same. Is it like a self-preservation thing, with Derrick Henry?
So am I not the only one? Did we see that when he jogged a little when it was a running play?
I did. It wasn't often, but I did. I do remember vaguely seeing it. What'd you see, Brian?
He had a great tackle on Derrick Henry, a great open field outside tackle. That tackle was great. It was huge too. But I just saw a bunch of other stuff from him too that I didn't necessarily like. So I don't want to be a hater, but I don't know.
It was a bad matchup. I think it was a bad matchup for him, and I do think that the knock on Christian Gonzalez, why he fell in the draft, where a lot of evaluators they felt like he was more of a finesse corner. He wasn't a physical corner, and that was one of the reasons why, based on some of the people that I talked to, and some of the scouting reports that I saw after the draft, where people were basically wondering why a talented player, because he is talented, he's all world talent, fell as much as he did, was because of some of the traits that he's shown. Now, what I will say is, I think the scheme in which he's playing right now isn't necessarily play to his strengths. I think this last season and the couple seasons before that, he was put in positions where he was utilized to his strengths, and it showed, and he was able to showcase more of that ability and that gift that he has. And this year, he's being asked to play more of his own. He's being asked to play more off man, not enough press. There's sometimes I see the DBs like 8-9 yards off the ball, and I'm just like, I don't understand why that, because that doesn't play to the strength, and it's just too much cushion. And I've seen it over and over on the all 22, where it's Carlton Davis too. It's not just Gonzalez. They're playing 6, 7, 8 yards back off ball, and I'm like, why are we giving
DeAndre Hopkins first down?
Yeah, that drives me nuts. That drives me nuts.
There's no reason for it. DeAndre Hopkins at 33 is not gonna burn you, and if he burns you, you deserve to be on the bench. Yeah, so why are you playing off coverage on a critical down? The only way you're gonna be able to use the guys that you have is press coverage. If they beat you, they beat you. If they don't, they don't. But at least, try to play a little more aggressive. And over and over and over again, this happened against Buffalo as well. Off coverage, soft coverage, shell coverage. What are we doing? Right now, if you had guys healthy, if you had Tonga and Milton Williams in there with Barmore, where these guys were in the beginning of the season, they were able to stop the run, one. Two, they were able to generate pressure inside, right? And that was allowing Harold Landry and Chason to create pressure off the edges more. It's different. But right now, you don't have the luxury to basically play shell coverage when you're not generating enough pass rush. So you're going to have to help out you guys up front. And it's just not making any sense why they're playing soft zone shell coverage, off coverage. It doesn't play to Carlton Davis' strengths. It doesn't play to Gonzalez's strengths. and you see the result. You have guys like Zay Flowers who are guys who can operate underneath, who can find open spaces, who can get open with enough time, and that's what happened. They got carved up.
It's
That's
really weird, right? Because you think, we all know the domino effect of Milton Williams, right? We know that. The domino effect is Christian Barmore is gassed all the time because he's getting doubled every play. You
every
got
play.
And then now you got more snaps on Tonga and Durden and these other guys who are kind of just like fill-in guys. Tonga's, played very admirably, especially on the offensive side of the ball too. But you put pressure on everybody else. So in my opinion, if you don't have Milton Williams, wouldn't you want to play more press? Because now you have to, that first, 4 or 5 seconds, you're going to have to cover and stay with these guys. So it is, to me, it's very weird how, I think we played more aggressive from a corner perspective with Milton Williams, and now that we don't have them, we're playing more bend don't break zone kind of fluff defenses. So it's very peculiar to me why we do that.
It's pretty alarming, Joe, to be honest
It
with
is.
you.
It is. I agree.
The defense without Milton Williams is night and effing day over here. And I think we can all agree that he earned every single penny that they gave him because he was the stalwart in the middle of that defense. Well, Tonga goes over the center, but then Williams and Barmore do the 3 technique, and Williams is just a freaking madman. he just dominates double teams and gets guys. I didn't have any idea how good of a run player he was, a run defender. He friggin' stands people up right in that pocket. We have lost that considerably, and Karis Tonga getting hurt all the time doesn't help either. But what do you think? Do you think that Milton Williams is going to they're going to give him some warm-ups? They're going to give these last 2 games, give him some warm-ups? Or do you think
practicing? He's practicing now, so we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
I don't think they're gonna play him unless they absolutely have to. I would not. I would not play him against the Dolphins or the Jets at this point. You just ride out with what you have. I think the team has enough to get through the last 2 weeks, but he's absolutely earned every penny. Chason has earned every penny, and I think the Patriots are going to look at their defense this offseason. They need to build depth. They need to build. They need to build more.
We have no depth. We have no depth.
We have no edge. You can't have Jennings out there. We have Jennings
or Elijah
edge.
Ponder.
Yeah, like Joshua Farmer show you something, but he looks like he's just a rotational player as of now. Durden
and now
as well.
He's on IR. He's done for the year.
Yeah, so it's they need more on the edge. They need more in the interior. More guys, more fresh legs, because Milton Williams was able to stay healthy last year because the Eagles were very deep at that position. That D line
snaps.
That D line is deep as heck, so they were able to use. Not that Milton Williams isn't great, regardless. He's shown it this year that he is great, right? That look at the impact that he's had, but obviously they need more. They need more impact players along the front 7, and I would even say linebacker too. Look, Spillane gets hurt and they can't stop a nosebleed. Like they are not doing very well. Gibbons is playing admirably, but he's obviously not the type of player that you want in there. He's not going to be the type of player that's going to help you stop the run, and they're getting absolutely gashed. I think the Patriots, as well as Maye played, and as well as we're all happy that we pulled out the win. I think we also have to thank the Ravens for literally not playing, Derrick Henry for the last 12 minutes of the game, which I don't understand that one. But
I was just about to bring that up. There was 2 things I wanted to talk about. There was Draymond Jones, who the Ravens stole off of the Titans, and he was a perfect person. If Amy Adams Strunk wasn't such a cunt, we would have had either him or Arden Key or one of these guys, right? And man, Draymond Jones, I know he was going against Fedarian Lowe half the time, but man, he looked electric. He looked like the perfect, I think they got him for like a 4th or a 5th round pick, which pisses me off. So Draymond Jones would have been perfect. He would have been perfect. Imagine him with Milton Williams and Barmore and all these guys, because he's a young kid and he's a fucking animal. But then, How do you not have Derrick Henry in the fucking game during the biggest drive? You just gave up a touchdown. You're still up, what, 3? Or it was 11, then it went to 3,
Yeah, it
right?
went to 3 after the 2-point conversion. That when they converted, it was down to it was 24-21. Ravens had the ball,
You got the
and
biggest
yeah,
drive of the game, and Derrick Henry just absolutely shit on us, and you're not going to play him? I mean, my buddy was saying, oh, I think he got banged up quite a bit. I'm like,
No,
you
I'm
would,
saying it. I'm
oh,
saying that he
it
got
was,
banged up. It
it
was
was you, Mike,
me.
right? But I
I think
think
that
if
he
it,
got freaking banged up, man.
but wouldn't he go into the medical tent and wouldn't he get a questionable tag and wouldn't so none of that happened but he was,
No.
I don't know. I don't buy that. This is a playoff game for them. To me,
He
this is a
felt
playoff
he
game.
felt weird. He felt funny, and instead of them it was a sideline play. I think it was Jalen Hawkins that landed on him. Funny. Jalen Hawkins had an incredible impact on this game, by the way. But I think it was him that fell on him while he was going out of bounds, and he came up like all gimpy, and he got right, but then I think he locked up. And that's why they had Keaton Mitchell in them last 2 drives.
Something had to happen. It makes no sense
Derek,
to me.
listen,
Something
man,
had to happen.
this is the bottom line, okay? If Derrick Henry says, "All right, I'm ready to go back in," they're gonna put him back in. It's not up to the coach's decision. I don't care what John Harbaugh says. If he's like, "Yeah, I'm ready to go," he would have gone back in. They didn't feel he was ready to go back in. I don't have corroborating evidence on that, but that's what I think happened. I think he was banged up and he was reluctant to go back in, and that's why they lost the game.
It's as good a guess as any. What do you think, Bri? What do you think?
I have no idea if he was banged up or not. I didn't see him it's like you said. I didn't see him going into the tent. I didn't see them actually. You know, the silent reporters usually will give you an update or will tell you like, hey, the trainers were checking on him. I didn't see any trainers check on him. I didn't hear of any reports of any trainer from the Baltimore team. Basically, just check him out or ask him if he was. There was just nothing. He was just standing there on the sidelines.
That's
And
not
his
true,
toe
man.
was up.
I'm sorry that's not true. He didn't go into the tent, but trainers were around him almost the whole entire game.
Right, but it wasn't reported. Is what I'm talking about. Like it wasn't
Okay.
reported. There was no reports. I saw the whole broadcast. I didn't see any reports or hear from any reports or the silent reporter mention Henry being looked at by trainers. That's what I'm talking about. Did he get looked at by trainers or not? That I can't confirm for sure because I wasn't there. But I didn't see or hear of any reports that Henry was banged up. Even the commentators were like, "Why is he not in the game? Why is he
Something
not
weird.
playing?"
Yeah,
So it was strange. It was the way it was handled. It was very strange.
very strange. A buddy of mine who's a Ravens fan, before this, he was calling for Harbaugh. He wants the whole he's like he's done disenchanted with the whole organization. And I think a lot of Ravens fans are thinking this right now. They're going, we've had I mean, it's probably, I wouldn't say similar to the Bills, right? Because I think that's a little different situation. But I don't know, man. Between Lamar and between all the talent that team has had, kind of like I guess like the Steelers, right? I mean, they've had more success than the Steelers over the past 7-8 years. But it's kind of debatable. It's like, is this at what point do you blow it up? At what point do you just say we need to move on and we need to make big radical changes? I don't know.
This should have been their year, honestly, because with Mahomes no Burrow, the Bengals still in Desiree. There's completely, the Bengals are just being a disaster, and you have a team like Buffalo who is, to me, it's all Josh Allen or it's nothing. Basically, if Josh Allen doesn't become Superman, they really don't do much. And I'm not really moved by, I think it's more if to me Buffalo can be beaten if you can control James. If you could control Cook, I feel like
Yeah.
Buffalo becomes one dimensional and they are not good. And the difference between us winning the first game and losing the second game to me was in the first game, James Cook did absolute dog shit. Nothing. He was non-factor. And in the second game, they were able to get him going. And, obviously they put up a lot of points because it opens up their offense. But, this would have been their year. If you look at the roster that the Ravens put together and the talent that they have on that roster, they should be better than what they are, but they're not. So it's strange. It's really strange.
Bri, the last time you were on, we talked about BDE. We
Yeah.
got that big division energy right now. Are
Yeah.
we taking this division? I mean, it seems like we're taking this division. It seems like it's a foregone conclusion.
All we have to do is just
Health.
win out.
Keep Drake May healthy, and I feel like it's all depends on health now. They need to stay healthy. Right now they're very banged up. We came off a bye thinking, all right, we finally got the bye. We were able to rest some players, and more players have gotten hurt. So, health, knock on wood, knock on anything you can find. I think we should be able to lock up the division. I think we just need to take care of business. So take care of business, take care of the Jets, take care of the Dolphins, and get out those games healthy. And the division is ours. And if we did that, I don't care who you are. There's nobody on earth saw 14 wins in the division title. And
No way.
nobody
No.
saw this coming. Nobody. So I'm ecstatic. Right now, my biggest fear is not the opponent. It's just making sure we get through these next 2 weeks healthy.
I agree. Yeah, because you know what? At this point, we're getting a home playoff game, right?
Yeah.
Pretty locked up home playoff game. I'll take anybody. Give me the Bills. Give me the Texans. Give me all these teams. I don't
pass rush.
The Texans are going to present problems, 100%.
I'm not scared of the Texans' offense. It's their defense that I'm just like, oof.
They look like the Legion of Boom. They look like the Legion of Boom is what they
That's
look
a
like.
rough that pass rush is no joke. So
It's
it's scary.
But you know what? What I've seen out of Drake May, I honestly think that his ability to handle the pressure and step up in the pocket and make big plays. I don't know Stafford, but I mean, like, just think of Drake May with Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
And like, to me, he's playing at just as good as anybody else and better than most. And so when it comes down to it in the playoffs, if we have Milton Williams back, if we have Will Campbell back, if we have, Spillane, God, we don't even have a middle linebacker. If we have Spillane back, I'm feeling pretty good. And no matter who we play, like you said, these offenses in the AFC, they don't scare me at all.
Who do you guys want to see? Who do you guys want to see? Who do you guys would be like your ideal first round matchup for the Pats? Like ideal. To me, it would be the Steelers. I would love to get another crack at the Steelers.
Well, it's either going to be them or the Ravens. It's probably going to be the Steelers, but yes, I would take the Steelers also.
To me, ideally, like let's be like, okay, let's get one. Let's get one playoff win, like that. I really think it would be ideal to start your run. I think if we play the Steelers, I feel like we would destroy them. It would be
100%.
Because that game. That game still haunts me. It's just an anomaly to me.
We doubled their offensive yards, and we were still in the game, and we had 5 turnovers. Like, fuck out of here.
Yeah, no, I don't give a fuck what you say. I don't think our Aaron Rodgers is his broken down body should be able to beat us.
Oh yeah,
it took them 5 turnovers to beat us, and we weren't that good back then.
Yeah, it was just self-inflicted, I feel like the Steelers would be a perfect first round matchup. I don't know if it would happen. I haven't looked at the seeding, but I feel like the Steelers would be an ideal matchup, and I do think that a team like the Texans also would be a fun matchup as well. I feel like the Texans would be a pretty cool matchup, just because I feel like their defense is great, but I don't nobody on that offense scares me. CJ Stroud does not scare me.
No
Nico Collins is a phenomenal player, but that's about the only threat that I think they have right now. I don't think they have anything like that's like, oh my God, you have to watch out for that guy.
They're not gonna if we have Milton Williams, they're not gonna run on us, so that's out. Woody Marks and Nick Chubb can fucking beat it. And then you got Jaden Higgins and a bunch of rookies, and then so you have to take out Nico Collins. You have to just X him out of the game, for sure. And then I mean, we just at the end of the day, it's pretty much what's Drake May going to do against their defense, and I think I know what he's going to do. I think he's going to rise to the occasion. We have all the players on offense. All of our receivers are capable. Matt Collins, Booty, Booty's now concussed, but hopefully that's a 1 or 2 week thing. But I'm telling you, man, I'm in love with this receiving core. If Drake Maye is on his game, we have the players, we have the bullets in the gun. We have it. I feel like we have it for this year, especially with this AFC. This AFC is
Wide open.
It's wide open, and the NFL's wide open. I don't care what anybody says.
The whole league is wide open right now. The whole
So
entire
this is,
league.
if anyone says like, well, why us? It's like, no, why not us? That's the question. It's not why us. It's look at everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, to me, what's funny is every couple of weeks there's a new team, the new it team. Like a couple of weeks ago, nobody remembers this now, but everybody was talking about the Packers. The Packers this, the Packers that. The Packers are going to do this. The Packers they're coming. Then they lose Micah Parsons. Then they lose. They get some injuries and lose 2 in a row. And then after that, they all of a sudden just they felt nobody picks the Packers anymore. But now it was the Rams. The Rams lose. Now it's the Seahawks. Every couple of weeks is a new it team that comes up. It's just kind of like
the juggernaut.
Yeah. Like, oh my God, this is the one. This is the team. But it never really usually happens that way. So it's whoever gets. I think to me, it's going to be whoever gets in there healthiest, whoever can stay upright the most. And like I said, right now the Jaguars are hot. We'll see what the Jaguars do, but. Trevor Lawrence to me, I don't care what he does. I'm not. I don't fear him.
So that begs the question here: would it be better off for us to go for the higher seed and play everybody, all of our players, or should we rest everybody and just knowing that we're clinching in the playoffs and regardless of seed, we're going to get in? Should we go for the number 1 seed, or should we just like chill out and keep everybody healthy?
When you have the opportunity to play 2 playoff games instead of 3 and meet and host,
you got to go for it.
You got to go for it. Yeah,
I'm with you on that one.
It's like it's just as good as we've been on the road this year, and we've been great on the road. We've been absolutely phenomenal on the road. When you get the opportunity to only play 2 games instead of 3, and you get to host them, it's better. It's better for preparation. You get to keep your players at home. No travel. You get to just basically just protect your home. 2 games and you're in the bowl. 2 games and you're playing in the bowl. So, you have to go for it.
I cannot believe we're having this discussion, boys.
It's crazy.
Absolutely crazy. This is all house money. I say this every week now. I think I predicted 11 wins. Mike, you predicted 10. And like you said, Bri, like no one predicted 14 wins. People were calling me crazy. They were calling me a homer saying 11 wins. And I'm just looking at the schedule, and it's tough to pick L's.
At this point, I'd prefer a number 1 seed. How about that?
I'm with you.
At this stage of the game, I'm sorry. I'd prefer.
Listen, you know what's crazy? You guys talking about a 1 seed. Drake Maye is an MVP candidate, or like
fucking wild.
Listen. Just think about that perspective. You have MVP. You have an MVP candidate, and you're in play for the number 1 seed. I don't give a fuck how optimistic you are. Nobody thought, hey, Drake Maye is going to be in the MVP conversation with 2 weeks to go in the play. For 2 weeks to go in the season, he's going to be in the MVP conversation, and you have a chance at the 1 seed. Nobody thought that.
No way. Nope. Not a shot. No.
Nobody thought that.
I thought 7 seed.
Wild card. That's what I thought. I thought wild card.
Seriously.
I was like, Drake Maye put up some top 10 numbers. I think he'll be a top 10 QV, but the way he's playing, it's been beyond my wildest expectations.
And that's why when everyone gets all wrapped around the axle on the 300-yard games, what impresses me about his game is he leads the league or is close to the top of the league in yards per attempt, and then he leads the league in completion percentage. It's like those 2 things right there are near unheard of. You're not going to lead in both those things, and he does. And it's like
he's got like almost 120 less pass attempts than the guy who's number 1.
Than Stafford, yeah.
Which is like obnoxious. That's why
absurd.
I don't even read into the 300-yard thing. Look, he was get me 283 tubs in efficiency, and I'm telling you, I don't give a fuck if I'll never see a fuck. If I never see
Exactly.
it,
Yeah.
I don't care
220,
about that narrative.
250, who gives a shit? Yeah.
I just love to see the style points sometimes because people is always they're always bothering us about our strength of schedule. So I'm
Yes.
like, all right, if we get style points on them, then I can tell them to go fuck themselves. So that's why I want. That's why I want
You
style
can tell him
points.
that anyway, Mike. You can still tell him that either way without 300
Oh,
yards.
I'm going to continue to do so. Please believe me.
All right, boys. Do we bother wrapping up and doing projections of the Jets game? Do we do that? Predictions?
We
Score
might
predictions?
have to just on pure principle. I mean,
All
why the
right.
hell not?
All right, Bri, what's this game going to look like? Tell me what are we getting with this Jets game?
We're gonna win this game 40-6. There's gonna be a lot of high fives. I won. All right. Drake May's probably
I love it.
Drake May is gonna get benched by the second quarter because he's already gonna be over 300 yards. There's
Oh, I
going to be
love
a
it.
lot of like early celebration because we are going to basically clinch the division because I feel like Buffalo's gonna lose next week. And a 40-6, I think we're gonna run for over 200 yards. We're not really gonna have to do much, and then Aaron Glenn's gonna be, weeping on the sidelines, basically just
Good Lord.
sad that he didn't take an interview with New England. So because he's like, I could have had Drake May, I didn't even try, and I'm a complete dipshit for not trying now.
He
So
absolutely is a complete dipshit.
yeah,
Aaron
so
Glenn, you're
that's
the
what
leader.
I see. 40-6.
I like it. Mike, what do you think?
Holy baloney pants. I love his optimism. That's what I'm trying to talk about. I was going to go more toward like a 31-17 type of deal.
Oh,
Like
wow.
we get out so far ahead and then they kind of get garbage touchdowns, but we're still rolling on offense even with Josh Dobbs in the fourth quarter and he throws for a touchdown. It's going to be 31-17 with Josh Dobbs throwing a touchdown in the fourth quarter.
Oh, my God.
Boom!
Josh Dobbs.
Call it.
You might even see Tommy Cutlets. You might even see Cutlets out there throwing.
That would be great.
I like
too.
it.
No, you're not allowed to do that unless the first two guys are hurt. But
I know.
it would be great if he was on the active roster. That would be great.
I do think we're gonna break 40 on this team. I'm feeling it too. I do think it's gonna be like 42 to I'm gonna say like 13. I think they're only gonna score one tutty on us and then maybe 2 field goals. But it will be in garbage time. This team with Brady Cook, I watched some of the game against New Orleans. He is absolutely atrocious. He is not even a backup quarterback. So yeah, I just don't see how they're going to be able to do it. Adonai Mitchell, yeah, he can be a big play threat.
Brees Hall, I'm going with Brees Hall.
Brees Hall, sure, but when it comes down to it, I'm loading the box on him, and I'm sending the house at Brady Cook as much as I can because that guy can't progress.
He can't do anything.
He can't do anything. There's nothing he does well. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go 42-13. Yeah. I think it's good. I think I'll give him a little more credit than you, Bri, but not much. Not much.
0 credit from me. 0. No credit. Negative 10 credit. That's it. You get nothing.
Oh, on that one right there.
All right, boys. Well, it's been a great episode. We got a lot more to talk about come next week. The closer we get to the playoffs, the more we're going to know about the seeding, the more we're going to know about who we're playing. And get ready. We're going to have an event at Rogue Island for that first playoff game. If I'm not there, we'll see. We shall see, boys. But as always, thank you, Brian, for joining. And as always, let's fucking go.
Let's do it.
Go Pats.
Let's do it, fellas.